that time again, folks. The draft is right around the corner, and that means it's time to dive into our mock draft 5.0. Yeah, you heard that right. We've already done 4, and each one brought something new to the table. We've played with different strategies, dug into surprise scenarios, and tried to figure out what direction this team could go in both the first and second rounds. But today's mock is going to be different. Why? Because for the first time this offseason, we're throwing trades into the mix. That's right. Up until now, we've kept it clean, no movement, just straight picks. But now, it's time to shake things up and see what kind of opportunities could open up if the team decides to get a little aggressive on draft night. Let's be honest, projecting trades in a mock draft is no easy task. There's so many moving parts, so many what-if situations that can change everything with one phone call. But it also makes it so much more interesting. So here's the plan. I'm going to walk you through 3 different simulations, labeled Mock I, Mock B, and Mock C. Each one has its own flavor, its own identity, and most importantly, its own trade strategy. One thing remains constant. No player can be drafted twice, and each mock includes at least one trade. That way, we keep it realistic and diverse, just like what we might see on the actual draft board. So buckle up, because this is going to be a fun ride. Let's kick things off with mock draft day. Right off the bat, we've got some fireworks. The Chargers are making a move, and it's an aggressive one. They're trading up in the first round. Specifically, they're striking a deal with the Buccaneers. The Chargers send their first and third round picks to Tampa Bay, and in return, they get the Bucs picks at 118 and 120 in the fourth round. Why make this move? Simple. There's a player slipping through the cracks, someone who shouldn't be available this late, and the Chargers don't want to miss their shot. Enter Tyreek McMillan. This wide receiver out of Arizona is a name that's been buzzing all over the draft community. He's big, he's athletic, and when he's on the field, he dominates. I had the chance to watch him live when Arizona played Washington State. And let me tell you, this guy is special. Even against top-tier defenses, he finds a way to make impact plays. Some scouts might be cautious about this wide receiver class as a whole, but McMillan consistently shows up as one of the best options available. And the crazy part? In a bunch of mock drafts, he's been sliding from the top 15 into the late teens, or even 20s. That's why this trade makes sense. If he's still on the board around pick 19 or so, you got to jump on that opportunity before a divisional rival like the Broncos snatches him up. This is exactly the kind of player you trade up for. McMillan brings value, need, and talent all in one package. The Chargers know they're not just filling a roster spot. They're grabbing a legit weapon for Justin Herbert. Picture McMillan lined up next to guys like Ladd McConkey under the guidance of Jim Harbaugh. That's a scary thought for opposing defenses. He's got the size, 6'5" and 212 pounds, and the physical tools to dominate at the next level. His catch radius is insane. He runs clean routes, and he's already polished beyond his years. In fact, he might be the most NFL-ready receiver in this entire class. Sure, it cost a third-round pick to make the deal happen, but with so many other picks available this year, it's a risk worth taking. Sometimes when a player starts slipping and you've got him ranked as a top 10 talent, you don't wait, you act. And that's exactly what the Chargers are doing here. Now let's roll into the second round. Good news, no trade needed here. The team still holds onto their original second-rounder, and with pick number 55, they're going with JT Tumalo, the defensive end from Ohio State. If you've been following our previous mocks, you know this name has come up before, and for good reason. He's got the kind of traits that scream impact player. Tumalo has a wicked first step, great leverage at the point of attack, and violent, precise hand usage. He's exactly the type of edge rusher you want rotating in with Tuli Tuipulotu too. And while Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are still in the picture for now, we all know that long-term, this position needs some fresh blood. JT could be the one to eventually take the mantle and keep the pressure coming for years to come. So now we've added a premier wide receiver and a high-upside edge rusher. Not bad, right? But wait, there's more. Remember those extra fourth-round picks we got in the trade with Tampa? Time to cash those in. At pick number 121, the Chargers select Gunnar Helm, the tight end from Texas. I'm telling you, this guy is sneaky good. He's not the flashiest name, but he does everything well. Solid blocker, reliable hands, and surprisingly good after the catch. You give him space, and he'll make you pay. He's exactly the kind of safety blanket Herbert needs. And with the addition of someone like Tyler Conklin, Helm becomes a developmental piece who could eventually take over full-time duties in a couple of years. Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman love their tight ends. If history tells us anything, it's that they know how to get the most out of this position. And while Conklin is a great piece in the short term, you need someone to groom behind him. Helm fits that mold perfectly. He's dependable, versatile, and just tough as nails. Everything you want in a fourth-round pick. With the next pick, 125, the Chargers turn their attention to the secondary and take Noel Williams, cornerback from Cal. This guy's a physical presence on the outside. Over 5 seasons, he's racked up 15 interceptions, and he's not afraid to come down and stop the run. He's big, he's strong, and he plays with an aggressive edge. Sure, he can be a bit grabby at times in zone coverage, but in man-to-man, he's sticky and disruptive. There's real upside here, and if he can clean up some of the technical stuff, he could be a starter sooner rather than later. Late in the draft, you're always looking for traits, size, speed, aggression, and Williams checks those boxes. He reminds me of guys like Jesse Minter, tall, fast, aggressive, and able to throw a wrench in any receiver's route tree. For a fourth-round corner, that's a pretty sweet deal. And now, let's finish mock draft A with our final pick in the 5th round, Kyle Manengai, running back from Rutgers. This dude runs like he's got something to prove. Actually, scratch that. He runs like somebody insulted his entire family. He's angry, physical, and relentless. Every snap, he brings it. You want a running back who's not afraid of contact, who thrives in chaos, who will block on passing downs like his life depends on it. Manengai is that guy. He's got that Wolverine energy, short, compact, explosive, and he doesn't back down from anybody. Honestly, I don't know how this guy isn't getting more attention. If this was any of the draft class, he'd probably be a 3rd-rounder, maybe 4th at worst. But hey, the Chargers are getting a steal here. You pair him with your current backs, let him contribute on 3rd downs, and watch him grind out tough yards when it matters most. He brings toughness and attitude, and I guarantee the coaching staff will love having him in the locker room. So that wraps up mock Teteroa McMillan in the 1st, JT Tumalo in the 2nd, Gunnar Helm and Noel Williams in the 4th, and Kyle Manengai in the 5th. That's a strong draft class, loaded with potential contributors on both sides of the ball. But we're just getting started. Up next, mock draft B. And trust me, this one's got some serious surprises of its own. Now let's shift gears and dive into mock draft B. Things unfold a little differently this time around. No early trade up. The Chargers decide to stay put at pick number 22, and honestly, it's hard to blame them with who's still on the board. Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan, is available, and if that happens on draft night, it's a no-brainer. You sprint to the podium. The idea of pairing this guy with the current defensive core is just too good to pass up. Grant is a freak athlete for his size, strong, explosive, and absolutely disruptive in the trenches. He anchors the line, but he's not just a run stuffer. He can collapse the pocket, blow up run plays, and force quarterbacks into bad decisions. This dude is relentless. His motor never stops. He's the kind of interior presence that allows your edge rushers to thrive because he draws so much attention in the middle. If you're looking to rebuild the identity of your defense, you start with a guy like Kenneth Grant. The Chargers' defensive front instantly becomes more physical, more aggressive, and more punishing. And let's not forget the connection with Jim Harbaugh, who coached him at Michigan. So there's already familiarity with the kind of mentality and toughness Grant brings to the field. Now in the 2nd round, things get interesting. The Chargers are ready to make a move. They've got their eyes on a wide receiver who's started to fall a bit, and they're not taking any chances. They pull off a trade, moving up to pick number 50 by packaging their 55th pick and one of their 4th-rounders. It's a calculated risk, but one that makes perfect sense. Wide receivers with real WR1 potential don't last long, and this guy fits that bill. His name? Jaden Higgins. He's got size, he's got speed, and he's one of the best deep threats in the class. There was a point not too long ago when Higgins was being talked about as a possible 1st-rounder, but with so many needs across the league and a deep class at other positions, he starts to slide. That's where the Chargers step in. Higgins brings a vertical element to the offense that's been missing. He stretches the field, forces safeties to play deeper, and opens up everything underneath for guys like McConkey and the tight ends. He's smooth, explosive, and when the ball's in the air, it's his. You put him in this offense with Justin Herbert, and it's fireworks. Now to the third round, and this time the focus shifts to the tight end spot. There are still solid options on the board, and the Chargers go with Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green. Let me tell you something about this guy. He may not check every traditional box for an NFL tight end, but the production speaks volumes. He had the second most receiving yards among tight ends last season and found the end zone multiple times. He knows how to get open, he knows how to work the seams, and he's got that quarterback-friendly presence you want in high-pressure moments. He might not have elite size or blazing speed, but he's crafty. He understands leverage, he adjusts to the ball well, and he's a red zone nightmare for linebackers. He gives Herbert a true mismatch weapon, and with the way the tight end room is shaping up, this pick is all about creating layers of versatility. If you've got Conklin handling the traditional duties, Fannin can be your move tight end, a joker piece, someone who lines up in different spots and keeps defenses guessing. Then we get to the fifth round. No fourth rounder this time. Remember, it was part of the trade to move up for Higgins. But in the fifth, the Chargers find themselves staring at a name that, just a year ago, would have been impossible to believe at this stage. Ollie Gordon III. The Oklahoma State running back was a monster in 2023, putting up over 2,000 total yards and 21 touchdowns. He was physical, quick, instinctive, just a complete back. But something happened in 2024. The production dipped, the consistency wavered, and now he's a bit of a mystery. But let's be real here. If you can get 70 or even 80% of what Gordon was in 2023, that's an absolute steal in the fifth round. The Chargers have shown they know how to revitalize careers, especially when it comes to running backs. Think about what they did with guys like Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. There's something about this system, this coaching staff, that gets the best out of their players. And with a backfield in transition, taking a flyer on Gordon makes total sense. He might not need to carry the load right away, but let him rotate, let him grow into the role, and who knows? He could be your future RB1. So to recap Mock B, it's Kenneth Grant anchoring the defense, Jaden Higgins as the new deep threat, Harold Fannin Jr. bringing playmaking ability to the tight end room, and Ollie Gordon as a potential hidden gem at running back. It's a balanced, high-upside class that fills needs while also stacking talent for the future. Now let's head into our third and final scenario, Mock Draft C. And this one starts with a twist. This time, the Chargers trade down in the first round. They move back from pick 22 to 28, picking up an additional second-rounder in the process. That's a pretty slick move, turning a third-rounder into a second, and it gives them extra flexibility to chase talent in a deep class. So who's the pick at 28? It's none other than Marshawn Hampton, a dynamic running back who's quickly becoming one of the most complete backs in this class. Look, some people will say it's too early to take a running back, especially in a class like this where you can find starters in rounds 2 and 3. But this isn't about filling a hole. It's about taking the best player available. And Hampton is exactly that. He can do it all. He's a violent runner with incredible balance, a pass-catching threat, and a willing pass protector. He's built for the modern NFL. This season, he pairs perfectly with your current RB1, and by 2026, he's ready to take over the role full-time. Adding Hampton at the end of the first round is about future-proofing your offense. He gives Herbert a safety valve, takes pressure off the passing game, and adds a physical edge that defenses will hate to deal with. It's a long-term play, but it's the right one if the board falls this way. Now the real question, of these three scenarios, which one are you rocking with? A, B, or C? Are you team trade up, team stay put, or team trade down and stockpile value? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, the draft is coming fast, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Los Angeles Chargers. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The Los Angeles Chargers front office has been buzzing with excitement lately, and for good reason. The team is eyeing a game-changing addition to their roster, one that could potentially redefine their offense: the electrifying wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. Known for his blazing speed and dynamic playmaking ability, Hill's potential arrival in Los Angeles is causing waves across the NFL, and Chargers fans can't help but wonder, could this be the piece they've been missing to contend for a championship? Hill, also known as Cheetah for his lightning-fast runs, has proven time and time again why he's one of the most feared wide receivers in the league. Over the course of his 8-year career, the Miami Dolphins star has consistently torched defenses with his unparalleled ability to stretch the field. His remarkable 2023 season alone, where he led the NFL in receiving yards with a career-high 1,799 yards, speaks volumes about his explosive impact on the game. The Chargers, who have long sought to add a dynamic playmaker to complement quarterback Justin Herbert, could see Hill as the final puzzle piece needed to create one of the most formidable offenses in the league. The Chargers' interest in Hill isn't just about his numbers. It's about his fit within the team system. With a high-flying offense already featuring playmakers like Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, adding Hill would give the Chargers a weapon that opposing defenses would struggle to contain. Imagine the speed, precision, and vertical threat Hill would bring to a passing game that is already one of the most potent in the league. For Chargers fans, it's the type of move that could elevate the team from a playoff contender to a legitimate Super Bowl threat. While the Dolphins have expressed no intent to trade Hill, recent frustrations voiced by the receiver following a disappointing season have fueled speculation about his future. Hill's cryptic social media posts, including a reference to former NFL star Antonio Brown's dramatic exit from the Buccaneers, have sparked rumors that a change of scenery might be on the horizon. Should the Chargers be able to capitalize on this uncertainty, they could find themselves with one of the most explosive receiving duos in the league. As the offseason unfolds, the Chargers' pursuit of Tyreek Hill remains a topic of intense speculation. Whether this dream pairing becomes a reality or not, one thing is clear: the Chargers are making moves, and their ambitions are sky high. If Tyreek Hill dons a Chargers uniform in the near future, the NFL will have to brace for the storm that is sure to follow. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Los Angeles Chargers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.